Listen up. The difference between your Hyundai becoming a relic, conquering thousands of miles, and one that never leaves my workshop, costing you thousands every other day isn't dumb luck. No, it also has nothing to do with the engine block, trim level, or model year. Hi, I'm Dean, and I've buried my head under enough Hyundai hoods in my lifetime to know that the difference simply lies in approach. What I'm offering here today are secrets only fellow mechanics know. Secrets we mechanics use to stop breakdowns miles before they happen. But what does this all entail? And could it possibly be the key to making your Hyundai last forever? Well, stick around, because I'll be showing you 7 procedures you only have to carry out once a month to keep your Hyundai in the best shape. Do them, and your Hyundai might just become a family heirloom. Ignore them, and you'll definitely be funding your mechanic's next vacation. We'll be starting off with the most important, yet frequently misperformed check. We're starting off with Protocol 1. Lubricant viscosity and analysis. You know that common practice you do of simply checking your oil is, honestly, not enough. You check your oil every now and then. Great. But do you properly read it? Most people just get the dipstick out, wave it a little bit, and once they see that there's still some oil on it, they're golden. However, you should be doing more, a whole lot more. For starters, you've got to make this a monthly inspection, performed with as much care as you'd give you dinner. This procedure has to be done with the engine at an ambient temperature, which means your Hyundai must have been stationary on a level surface for up to 8 hours to make sure all the lubricant has drained right back to the sump, ensuring you, my dear friend, are getting an accurate reading. I've had to deal with so many customers who claim to do this check every month, but still their Hyundai engines went out sadly in the middle of nowhere. Then, I had to give them the procedural rundown I'm going to give you right now. First, you've got to start by extracting the dipstick and wiping it completely clean with a lint-free cloth. Then, you reinsert the dipstick fully into its tube until the handle seats completely. Afterwards, withdraw the dipstick one more time and place it horizontally to prevent fluid runoff from distorting the reading. A great primary assessment involves 2 things: level and condition. For proper level verification, the oil on the dipstick has to be positioned between the low and full indicators. If your oil always seems to be getting low rather quickly, it means one thing: abnormal consumption, and that's not good at all. It could signify external leaks either from the rear main seal, valve cover gasket, or oil pan gasket. It could also mean internal consumption by worn valve guides or piston rings. Then, you should definitely see your mechanic. Now, for condition analysis. This is where most Hyundai owners really get it wrong. You see, when you're pulling out that dipstick and staring at it, you aren't just checking the level. You're analyzing every single thing about that oil. Is it blacker than your morning coffee, which would mean it's full of soot and has to be changed? Does it look like a frothy latte, which would mean your coolant is mixing in and your head gasket has given up? Do you see tiny sparkles in it, which would mean congratulations, your oil is still in great shape? These are some of the things you should always be on the lookout for. This 90-second monthly check will always be the cheapest insurance you can get for your Hyundai. It really is the most basic and fundamental protocol you have. Make any mistakes, and you're taking up to $10,000 from your savings to save your car. Protocol 2. Cooling System Reservoir Analysis. That plastic jug under your Hyundai's hood isn't merely there to complete the numbers. It's as important as every other component in your car. You see, the cooling system's function goes beyond temperature control. It's more of a thermal governor, working overtime to maintain the engine with a particular narrow thermal window necessary for combustion efficiency and minimal emissions. If it's that important, then just like with your engine oil, you have to perform a monthly inspection on the cooling system to keep your engine firing, and definitely not in the wrong way. I've had so many Hyundais towed into my workshop with smoke coming out of the hood. Why? Well, the owner clearly didn't deem the cooling system important enough. You don't want to be that person now, do you? You really can't afford to be that person. Literally. So, just like with the oil check, there's a procedure here, and I got you. Start by locating the coolant reservoir, typically a white, translucent plastic tank near the firewall or radiator. Then inspect the fluid level properly against the cold full and cold low demarcations. Finally, just like with the oil check, you have got to critically analyze everything about that fluid. I'm talking color, clarity, and even surface conditions. For level assessment, a persistent decline means that the engine is no longer what it used to be. Here are a couple of possible failure points to help you out. Degraded radiator hoses or clamps, a failing water pump mechanical seal, a cracked plastic radiator end tank, a leaking thermostat housing gasket, or internal combustion gas ingress caused by a failing head gasket. What all this means is that simply topping that off without bringing it into the shop will only put you in more trouble. Now, let's talk fluid composition. Discoloration and rust formation means there's active corrosion with your Hyundai system. The corrosion inhibitors in the coolant have been depleted. Then there's the old case of engine oil appearing in the coolant. You'd notice this by an oily film right on the surface or a sludge in the tank. This is most commonly a failing cylinder head gasket, but can also indicate a cracked block or a failed oil cooler. This condition needs immediate professional diagnosis, so whenever you're popping open that hood for a coolant check, also look out for all of these. Remember, you're not only looking out for the level. Neglecting your cooling system will lead directly to a single, really expensive problem: hyperthermia-induced engine failure. In simple words, engine failure caused by heat and a possible $5,000 repair bill. The cost of a cooling system pressure test and fluid exchange is a fraction compared to that. Now, I'm going to tell you about a monthly procedure very little people know about. One that makes all the difference. Protocol 3. Accessory drive. Belt inspection. Do you know what the Serpentine belt is? Well, for the non-gearheads in the back, it is this single, long rubber belt that just winds through several pulleys. You've obviously seen it. It's right in front of your engine and transfers power through several other components. And I bet you've never had to inspect it. Well, that's about to change because this one belt is your Hyundai engine's puppet master. It runs the alternator, the power steering, the AC, and, oh yeah, the water pump. You know, the one thing that keeps your whole engine from just melting away one day. With all these responsibilities under its belt, pun intended, it's a sin there are other components in your car that get more attention than the Serpentine belt. It is a critical component, and its failure, unlike so many other components in your engine, is often sudden and it takes every other system with it. So you just can't let it fail. So once every month, you've got to give it a proper look. Start by finding it and tracing the entire belt path. That shouldn't be difficult. When doing that, look for any signs of damage. I'm talking cracks, fraying, chunking, or missing sections on the inner ribbed surface. Small cracks across the ribs are signs of aging, which means you have to bring it into the shop to get it changed. And trust me, that's a lot cheaper than what's going to happen if it shuts down completely. Also, inspect for embedded grit, oil, or coolant. You see, petroleum-based products rapidly degrade the belt's rubber structure. Now, you've also got to find out how strong that belt is on your own. To do this, manually attempt to rotate the belt 90 degrees. While I wouldn't want to alarm you and some deflection is perfectly fine, too much looseness means it's worn out. You need to get it changed. You're not done just yet. You need to get your hands a bit more dirty. Also, observe the tensioner pulley itself. It should rotate smoothly without bearing noise and should not exhibit major side-to-side wobble. The consequence of this belt snapping right in the middle of the highway means everything. Yes, every single thing stops. A 2-minute check and some sludge under your fingernails is definitely a worthy sacrifice. Protocol 4. Electrical system ground integrity maintenance. Pop open your Hyundai hood right now. See those weird crusty blue-green crystals growing on your battery posts? Yeah, we all have them from time to time, but the truth is, that's corrosion right there, and it's currently and silently draining your car's electrical life. This unsuspecting, colored gunk is creating a whole lot of resistance. Let me explain a bit better. The modern Hyundai, like any other automobile, is a network of interconnected digital and analog electronic systems. They all depend on a stable, low-resistance electrical ground. Corrosion at the battery terminals, which is a chemical reaction between lead, sulfuric acid vapors, and other atmospheric elements, creates parasitic resistance. This resistance impedes current flow, leading to a phenomenon known as voltage drop. In simple terms, resistance means your starter has to work harder. Say hello to slow cranking, your sensors get confused, and your entire electrical system struggles. So once a month, you've got to get handy. You have to pick up a wrench and get to work. Pop open your hood and inspect the battery posts and cable terminals for accumulations of blue, white, green, or crusty white corrosion. You know what I'm talking about. Then it's time to carry out a connection security check. Firmly attempt to rotate the terminal clamps on the battery posts. There should be zero movement. Now, if you notice any corrosion, I've got a little corrective maintenance protocol for you. Start by disconnecting the negative cable first, followed by the positive, using the correct size wrench to avoid rounding the terminal nuts. Very important. Then create a neutralization solution of 1 tablespoon of baking soda to 1 cup of water. Apply to the corroded areas. You should get a nice little fizz, indicating acid neutralization. Afterwards, get a dedicated wire brush set and clean all contact surfaces back to bright, clean metal. Yeah, it's possible to get that clean metal glow back. Finally, reconnect the cables in reverse order. Positive first, then negative. Apply a thin, protective coating of petroleum jelly or a commercially available battery terminal protector spray to the assembled connection to stop future corrosion. Think of it as doing a little bit of spring cleaning. What follows are clean, crisp starts. This little Saturday morning maintenance ensures the vehicle's nervous system functions just like the day you drove it out the dealership. Protocol 5. The air filter assessment. Fun fact: your engine breathes just like you do. I know that sounds difficult to believe, but think of your engine as one big air pump. Now, try breathing through a pillow and see how you feel. That, guys, is exactly what a clogged air filter feels like. Your Hyundai's engine's ability to breathe regardless of the model. 1.6-liter Gamma, 2.4-liter Theta, 2.0-liter New, and newer 1.6-liter or 2.5-liter SmartStream units is a primary determinant of performance, fuel economy, and emissions. The air filter is the guardian of the induction system, but once clogged, it becomes a significant restriction. This means one thing: you can't neglect monthly inspections. You just can't. The only problem is many Hyundai owners have no clue how to even perform this inspection. Well, I'm here to help you out. Get a pen and pad and write this all out. You have to start by releasing the clamps or fasteners holding the air filter housing in place. Then, remove the filter element. For panel filters, hold up to a strong light source. Your workshop light or even the sun should do. For conical filters, though, visually inspect the pleat density. Now let me tell you what to look out for. If the light is severely obscured by a matted layer of dust and debris, the filter is creating way too much restriction. And that's not good at all because a clean, serviceable filter will allow ample light to pass through the media. But you're still not done just yet. The filter might be good, but the intake hose might have just seen its last mile. So while the filter is still out, use a flashlight to quickly inspect the inside of the intake hose and throttle body for excessive dirt or oil buildup, which could mean a failed filter seal or a malfunctioning positive crankcase ventilation system. So, bring it into the shop. Trust me, whatever bill you accrue will be worth significantly less than a failed engine. A new filter is what? $15 and about 5 minutes of work you can do in your garage. That definitely seems like a fair trade for a more efficient engine. A restricted air filter forces the engine to work a lot harder to draw in air, enriching the air-fuel mixture and increasing fuel consumption. Protocol 6. Undercarriage fluid leak. Identification. Do you know that your parking spot in the garage can also act as a confession booth for your Hyundai? What am I trying to say? Let me tell you a story. One day, a customer tows her Hyundai Sonata into my shop. According to her, she walked into her garage bright and early to take her kids to school, only to notice a little black pool right under her Sonata. It wasn't there the night before, and she feared something was up. She didn't even have to turn the car on, she just brought it in. I slid underneath to check what this mysterious leak was, and voila! Apparently her car's brake hoses were worn out, which explains the leak. That little attention to detail has just saved her life, and that of her kids. You see, fluid leaks are never immediate failures. A drip starts out as a seep, before becoming a stream, And that stream will, one day, lead to a depleted reservoir and subsequent component failure. With a simple monthly undercarriage inspection, you can transform your garage or parking space into a diagnostic tool for only you, meaning you can always stay on top of whatever problem your Hyundai might throw at you. So after the vehicle has stayed stationary overnight on a clean, dry, light-colored and preferably concrete surface, perform a visual sweep right beneath the engine bay, front and rear suspension, transmission, and transmission. Record whatever fluid you find. Every single thing you find is a clue. Dark brown or black slick, that's engine oil. Some common source points are valve cover gasket, oil pan gasket, timing cover seal, oil filter housing, or rear main seal. Location of the drip helps pinpoint the source. Red puddle with a sweet odor? That's your transmission or power steering fluid. Sources: transmission pan gasket, cooler line fittings, axle seals, or the transmission input and output shaft seals. Green, sweet-smelling drip? That's your coolant. Sources: radiator, hoses, water pump weep hole, thermostat housing, heater core hoses, or freeze plugs. Clear, slippery fluid? Now this is one you should always have at the back of mind. That's the brake fluid. Sources: brake caliper pistons, wheel cylinders, brake lines, or the master cylinder. This is a critical safety issue, as brake fluid loss means reduced braking capability. Identifying a leak early, regardless of which it is, allows for a quick fix without any risks. Ignoring it, though, guarantees an eventual failure of a major, accompanied by costs you definitely don't want to be on the end of. Cars don't just fail one day. They're in fact failed by you, the driver, by inattention, by not listening to the whispers. These 6 monthly protocols are your way of finally listening. I've told so many people about these protocols, which have been designed to intercept failures at their inception, to detect contamination before it causes wear, to identify leaks before they cause failures, to mitigate the damage of heavy duty, and to preserve these essential systems without you paying thousands of dollars for replacements. Stick with these protocols, and your future self, cruising quietly past 250,000 miles, will thank you.